I arrived in South Africa with some serious questions. What exactly is really happening in South Africa with the farmers?
Let me see the order or something.
As President Trump's immigration crackdown continues,
Welcome to the United States of America.
the administration rolled out the red carpet for 59 white South Africans they call refugees, saying they faced racial discrimination back home.
We're sending a clear message that the United States really rejects the egregious persecution of people on the basis of race in South Africa.
President Trump claims the U.S. had to take in the group because white farmers are being killed in South Africa in what the president calls a genocide.
Is there an actual state-sponsored genocide of white South Africans happening? Man, I'm trying to find out. I want to hear firsthand what's really going on. I'm in the Atlanta airport. It's about 9:00 p.m. and we are about to board our flight to CapeTown, South Africa. I have to do it every time. Every time I see it, I have to record it like it's the first time.
Oh, okay. Hey, look, there's Ariana Grande. Why are you looking at me?
I thought you were Ariana Grande. Hey everybody, it's Ariana Grande. Having a teenager is so fun, and I'm realizing that I only have a few years left with her in the house, which makes these years super precious. And since I can't get those years back, anytime I receive an invitation to travel and minister, I'm gonna work hard for my family to go with me, if at all possible. Look at how many people turn around and they're like, what? Ariana Grande? I'm so excited to be able to go and walk the land of Nelson Mandela, to learn about truth and reconciliation. I'll be ministering at a church. We'll be staying in a community with my good friend Pete Portal, and we'll get to see what they're doing, and it's gonna be amazing. But I am not looking forward to this 16-hour flight. I think that might be the longest. I can't remember how long our flight to Rwanda was a few years ago. Been to Israel a couple of times, but one straight 16-hour leg, sheesh. Later, made it about 7 p.m. bright and sunny. We left the Arctic tundra, and now we're in the summertime. So
and they robbed my wallet.
oh no, they told us that happens here. Oh,
no,
but that was in Greece.
Not even 2 hours. They robbed.
Oh my goodness!
And I've never been pickpocketed here. But you must also remember that the thief. He know I'm not a Greek. He can see it.
Right, he can see it.
My
right.
clothing, my everything, the way we walk, anything. He can see it
Immediately.
And I can see you're not a South African. I can see it.
Right.
So they will take the thief will take a chance. He will try.
Sure. Our driver was an interesting guy. I mean, within seconds of picking us up, he was already in on like the deep stuff. We jumped head first into some real talk about white Afrikaans farmers, about how they're being treated, the effects of apartheid. He started talking about government corruption. I'm gonna save that conversation for later, but we paid for a 4-star hotel experience, about what you pay for like a 2 to 2.5 star experience here in America. So it was cheap. CapeTown, Africa, and let me show you the guest house accommodations. Packing up here. It's been awesome staying at the Excellent Guest House is the name of it, and it actually is quite excellent. Like no problems. What do you think, Mom?
It was nice.
Yeah. Mira, did you sleep good?
It slept great. It was nice.
Have you adjusted to the jet lag?
No, I have not adjusted, but I did sleep well, so.
How beautiful this place is. I took pictures of it in the nighttime, but this is what it looks like in the daytime. The next day, we were picked up by my friend who was taking us to his house, but before we stopped at his house, we dropped into Table Mountain, which is this amazing mountain that towers over Cape Town. Here was my guy, Pete Portal, in the flesh, like the real guy right here.
I really exist.
He really exists. You know that book, How to Be Unsuccessful? I'm being unsuccessful with Pete today.
That's right.
What we're doing. Yeah.
That's then the northern suburbs going all the way up the west coast. And then that's Robben Island, just the other side of Signal Hill there.
Okay. Amazing.
Please note that Table Mountain is a national mountain of 1,037 meters. That's approximately 3,500 feet above sea level.
After we got to Pete's house, we just crashed. I mean, that jet lag was setting in, so we just crashed for the rest of the day, had some good meals, some good conversation. But Molly was in heaven. She's a total cat lady.
You get a picture of both the kitties. Oh, I'm causing a fight. Never mind.
My curls feel so good. I don't know if they look good, but they feel good.
South African curls.
The next morning, I ministered at a new church plant in downtown Cape Town called the Good Hope. The one who is actively reconciling all things to himself through himself. And the greatest reconciliation is not between white Afrikaners and black South Africans. It's not through African Americans and white Americans. It's not through Jew and Gentile. The greatest reconciliation is a fullness of time. Someone say fullness of time. Is a fullness of time when heaven and earth become one. So after service, we went to lunch, and then he took us on a small tour of downtown Cape Town, including a stop by Bishop Desmond Tutu's church. This is, you can't quantify this. The beauty.
The sun is so, you feel the intensity of the sun. I think there's a high UV index.
I did put some lotion on my arms.
I can feel myself getting darker.
Yeah, I put some on.
Things pretty cool.
It's amazing is Americans don't necessarily think of this when they think of Africa.
Yeah, I mean, some of these homes would be like 30 million US.
Oh, easy.
We're gonna drive 25 minutes and we're sitting in some of the worst poverty on the continent. And people are sitting in gang violence, and you're sitting with people with some of the largest wealth in the world.
Yeah,
and it's
right.
less than half an hour away from each other.
just a year ago, not even a year ago, that we began to see news reports.
I want to ask you about South African refugees. Dozens of Afrikaners who claim discrimination in their home country are heading to the United States, where your administration is going to welcome them as refugees. Now, this comes as you've halted virtually all refugee admissions for people fleeing famine and war from countries like Sudan, the Democratic Republic of Congo. Why are you creating an expedited path into the country for Afrikaners but not others?
Because they're being killed, and we don't want to see people be killed. But it's a genocide that's taking place that you people don't want to write about.
There's a lot, but what exactly is happening? Because we have, in the States, we have what we hear is happening here, but I don't know how accurate the news that we're getting is.
Under the farmers, it's very, very, very bad under the farmers. The farmers been killed monthly. They've been killed.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it a specific political group?
I'm not sure. But,
or an activist group?
I don't please don't understand me wrong. I'm not a racist. In my life, never been one.
Sure.
I don't want to use the word hate because hate is a very bad word. But I don't like the EFF and I don't like the ANC.
Okay.
And they all black people. And it's nothing to do with the skin color. It's just the way they think and how they run the country. It's corrupt.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone. We've got a mafia state now. It's a mafia state. Cape Town, the Western Cape, our area is the only area that's been run by the Democratic Alliance. The rest is all ANC. And you will see the difference between, but you must remember, only the last few years, the Western Cape was, the DA won only the last few years. So from Mandela time, it was ANC. And they
were good.
They worked slowly, all of them. What they did is, I was in the Air Force for 6 years.
Okay.
And when the ANC took over, they fired half of the people and they bring in people that's got no skill.
Okay.
So we don't have an Air Force anymore. It went so bad over the 30 years that there's nobody working. I think we've got the most generals and they got the biggest salary in the world, but we've got no army. There's no army.
Okay.
You can Google it. Even our power utility is run into the ground. It's billions and billions in debt.
Wow.
Every state owned company is bankrupt.
So
every single one is bankrupt.
So the people in charge of the government are corrupt.
Corrupt to the bone. Even our police big bosses is in court now for dealing in in bad things, drugs and corruption and you name it. It's there. No, it's broken. This, because even our judges in the High Court is also corrupt. So you understand what I'm saying? How can you fix it if everyone is corrupt? How do you fix it? You can't fix it.
We're navigating economic difficulties and we're navigating a post-apartheid world, and we're trying to figure out how do we reconcile and build a nation together. And it's not an easy thing to do. It's an extremely complicated world we live in.
So you would say there is a party, is it the third party, the
EFF, the Economic Freedom Fighters.
Are they the ones that are advocating for some sort of genocide, or they're saying not yet, or they're...
Yeah. I mean, so you can just Google Julius Malema and he'll say we're not, like on news, he'll say we're not calling for our followers to wage genocide against the whites just yet.
Right.
He'll say that. And then there's an old struggle song that they sang during the apartheid years, where they sing kill the boer, kill the farmer, which would be the Afrikaans. And then they make sounds of machine guns going off, and every single rally they do, they still sing that. Now, there's a lot of question now of does that belong in the modern South Africa?
Right.
I don't think it does, because it pushes a lot of racial unrest in white and blacks. And there's a lot of debate around that. It made sense as a struggle song in the midst of the resistance against the blatantly evil regime. But in the modern times, it's a very divisive figure. But he might be going to prison now because he's been found guilty on some charges where he shot a machine gun into the air at one of his rallies. and so he's been found guilty for that also now. So he might actually go to prison, which his prison sentence might be long enough to permanently disqualify him from politics in our country.
So he would be, I mean, in every country, it doesn't matter, in every freedom struggle, whatever it may be, you're going to have extremist factions.
Exactly.
But that's not necessarily, it's not like there is an actual government-sponsored genocide against white.
Not at all, and that's a problem. Even with when our president and a South African delegation was sitting in the White House and Trump is like addressing them, he played a video of this guy, and Trump's trying to play that as evidence that, well, look, here's people in government advocating something.
These are burial sites right here. Burial sites. Over 1,000 of white farmers, and those cars are lined up to pay love on a Sunday morning. Those people were all killed. Now, when you look at the videos, I mean, how does it get worse? And these are people that are officials, and they're saying that kill the white farmer and take their land.
Sure, yes, he's a parliamentarian, and he leads the third, or maybe after the last election, it's the fourth largest political party. But it's not the actual government. He just happens to be an elected parliamentarian who's calling for this. And so Trump played that in the White House as evidence of, look, there's a white genocide, but it's just not true. And he's not even in government. He'll never be in actual government. He's in parliament. And he might even be disqualified from parliament now if his prison sentence is long enough.
Wow.
And so it's not the actual African Congress, it's the economic freedom fighters, and they're socialist-leaning communists.
Right.
And so they think the way to address this is nationalize everything and distribute everything again.
As government, as my own party, we are completely opposed to that. I would say if there was Afrikaner farmer genocide, I can bet you these three gentlemen would not be here, including my Minister of Agriculture. He would not be with me. So it'll take him, President Trump, listening to their stories, to their perspective.
But you do allow them to take land.
No.
You do allow them to take land.
Nobody can
and
take
then when
land.
they take the land, they kill the white farmer. And when they kill the white farmer, nothing happens to them.
No, there is
nothing happens to them.
There is criminality in our country. People who do get killed, unfortunately through criminal activity, are not only white people. Majority of them are black people. And we have now been utilized.
The farmers are not black.
I
don't say that's good or bad, but the farmers are not black.
I think what's happening is Trump is actually mad at South Africa because we're anti-Israel, very in line with, because we're a BRICS nation, so Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. And it's a very much an opposition to the American-centric order that the world's been built on post-World War II. And I think that's what Trump's reacting. And so Trump doing this refugee thing, look, there is a degree of problems and there's a lot of violence towards the farmers, but it's not just white orientated, it's the black farmers also, and the workers and the farmers, everyone gets killed. The violence in which the white farmers are killed, I have to say, it's pretty extremes. I mean, I personally know people, a lady who was forced to tie up her husband, pour petrol on her husband and set her husband on fire.
Oh.
She then had to wash her. So that's sort of, it's not just murder, it's like torture that happens. That is there, but I'm not convinced, even as an Afrikaans person, that Trump cares about that in any capacity. I think this has to do with Iran.
Okay.
And so I think that's what's happening. And he knows by granting refugee status to Afrikaans people, which is this whole racial tension with the apartheid regime falling and transitioning, Trump is pushing a pressure point, and he knows what pressure point he's pushing. And I think it's intentional.
That's an interesting perspective.
And so I think most South Africans have probably recognized this has to do with Iran. And then there's people wanting to capitalize on this, and obviously if you get the opportunity to go live in the States, you're probably going to take it.
We've essentially extended citizenship to those people and to escape from that violence and come here.
At least for a lot of people, they don't have a lot of hope living in South Africa. And so the idea that there's a pathway for them to end up in the States and maybe go live what they think is the American dream and not the American reality that they're going to be stepping into, they're going to want to capitalize on this. And
wow, that's really helpful.
We've heard stories of them coming to the U.S. and then coming back here because
Yeah.
all they know is farming.
Yeah.
And to get into farming is like a whole thing in the U.S.
Yeah, I mean, you can even just look at Reddit threads of some of these Afrikaans refugees that's gone over, and they're posting on Reddit threads on like South African groups saying we went over as refugees, how can we come back?
Oh.
Or it's going to be Christmas break, we'd like to come visit our families, can we return on holiday even though we're refugees in the US now? And like no, like you can't say you're a refugee and want to go back to the place you're supposedly fleeing from for Christmas holiday.
Right.
Like
for because of persecution.
Has any other refugee from any other country ever done
Exactly.
that?
Exactly. And so yeah, and so I think Trump is intentionally pushing against the BRICS narrative because BRICS might be an alternative to a US-centric world order, as well as he doesn't like how close our government is to Iran. But there definitely are some sketchy dealings that happened there. I think that is true, but yeah, I don't think it really has much to do with an actual care from Trump's perspective. I think he's intentionally hitting a nerve.
Yeah.
There's always an agenda.
Farmers are being killed. They happen to be white, but whether they're white or black makes no difference to me. But white farmers are being brutally killed, and their land is being confiscated in South Africa. And the newspapers and the media, television media, doesn't even talk about it. If it were the other way around, they'd talk about it. That would be the only story they'd talk about.
But there's no evidence that's taking place, and some civil rights advocates are now raising questions about the decision to admit only white refugees at a time when the administration has cut off access to others facing war and famine.
Flying white Afrikaners over here to the United States to find refuge when they deny refuge for everybody else from war-torn communities at that. I mean, this is very clear to us.
The White House says this group was strictly vetted, and it's just the first of many that will be relocated to the U.S. But it's not clear how many will want to come because white South Africans still retain most of the country's privately held wealth.
The vast majority of South Africans are black people, and the vast majority of South Africans have no rights to land, none.
Which I really would like us to talk about, and talk about it very calmly. We were taught by Nelson Mandela that whenever there are problems, people need to sit down around a table and talk about them. And this is precisely what we would also like to talk about.